Hello, I am Aifel of Lorlin, and let's talk more about Maestro. So, we have talked before about these part numbering numbers here. As you can see, at first glance, they look fairly random. 1, 11, 3, 7, 8, 9. So, there is some system to this. Um, you can go into options and ABC part numbering, and there you can set the number you want for each instrument, what number they should. They are sort of, Dico has classified them as, for example, these plucked instruments here, they all have very low numbers, and the fiddles all have the same number, and bagpipes and bassoons share the same number, and so the high numbers are like drums and percussion and stuff like that. And then you can see here at the bottom there's an increment, and that means that, for example, if you look over here, the first lute is number 1 because lute of ages has number 1 here, and basic lute also has number 1. So when we get to the second basic lute, it gets 11. When we get to the third, it gets 21. So if we had selected instead here 1, you will see then they start from tenth, and then they increase like 0, 1, 2, and 30, 70, 80, 90. And you can of course go in and change the notes as you want, and numbers as you want, like that, for example. And then we have the lutes as 1, 2, and 3. And so let's say we again want Theobo as number 3. It will now get number 4 though, because number 3 is already taken by a lute, even though this lute in particular is not assigned to any track yet. So that's how that works. And you can also custom, you can simply go into this spinner up here, and then you can say this lute of ages should be number 5. Oops, wrong way. Should be number 5. So this I will highly recommend that you don't do this, because Maestro sometimes messes it up. It's something I haven't gotten around to look at yet. But sometimes these part numbering, when you do it manually up here, gets really weird, and you get sort of the same numbers on different parts and stuff like that, which Lotto will choke in and not know what to do. So I recommend that you go into options here, put some sensible numbers in here if you want to do some custom numbers, or just choose something that makes sense for you, and just go with that. Um, because that custom stuff that really can mess a song up. But of course, do whatever you want to do. There's another thing about part naming here. That is the next tab in here, ABC part naming. So this is not something you can see inside Maestro. That's something you can see in the ABC file that you export, and thereby you can see it in your songbook. And many bands have special ways of naming their parts. The way this works is those words that are, or tags that are prefixed by a dollar sign, they will get replaced. So for example, this one, if we go in here and say, for example, we have this part here, 10 basic lute. So we want to make it say basic lute, and let's say basic lute left. Let's call it that. Then we want it to be named basic loose left, and then we want to have, for example, the song duration, which is 3:29, and then we want to have, for example, the the title of the song, run to you. Then let's make sure that's what it is up here. So to do this, for example, to make it look like this in Songbook, you go in here and you say basic loose left. Okay, that's the song title. No, hold on, that's the part name. So that's the part name. Let's just do this first, like that, and then we say part name, and then we have a parenthesis, and then we have song length, and then we have the song title, which is dollar song title. So you'll notice down here that it will give an example for how it's gonna look. First flute 3:29 run to you, and for this part that we have selected over here, it's gonna look like this: basic flute left run to you, and in the middle the song duration in minutes. So you can use all these. So knock yourself out and make some smart way of naming your parts. Another reason for not making too long parts is that the text you enter into chat in Lotto has a certain length, or rather, when you sync up a song, everybody in the fellowship sees that in the chat, and that length of that text has I think 63 characters or 64 characters. Plus it starts with your name, like Aifel synced up, and then it comes with the part title. And Songbook uses that to check which other band members in the band sync up a song. So if it's too long, it might give Songbook trouble. So maybe not keep it too long. And also another reason for not keeping it too long is that in Songbook, unless you really make it really big on your screen, you won't be able to see it anyway. So a good idea is to keep it somewhat short, and then do it like you want it. Like if you want also the artist here, you can start with song composer, first flute, run to you if you want it to be like that. So that would be, I don't know who made this song, but example, composer, first flute, duration, run to you, title, or whatever order or whatever you want to do. So that's sort of the pattern you can use. It's gonna be saved from session to session. You don't have to enter it every time you use Maestro. And it's also gonna be saved if you use multiple Maestros. Like you have old Dico's Maestro running sometimes, and sometimes maybe you use mine, my upgrades, and then it's gonna remember this pattern for them. And the same goes with most of the settings here and stuff. So that's enough for this video. See you in the next video.